Good evening, all.
How are you all today?
We're doing something a little bit different. You may have noticed we are in the month of October, which for horror enthusiasts is the best month of the year.
It's really Halloween all month.
Pretty much. For us, it's Halloween all month.
I mean, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
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 So we're dubbing this Hallowtober.
Yes. And for Hallowtober, hopefully the first of many Hallowtobers, we're going to watch a lot of horror movies in the month of October. And then once a week, we're going to review them for you. We're going to start with 4 movies. We watched 4 scary movies this week. And number 1 on our list is VHS Beyond.
Beyond.
This, if you're not familiar with the VHS franchise, it's an anthology series where basically everyone is a set of short films that have been found on VHS tapes.
And it's a wraparound story as well.
Yeah, usually. In this particular version, the premise is that in 2001, an anonymous Redditor claimed to have bought a mysterious pair of video cassettes from a flea market. And these video cassettes supposedly contain video evidence of alien encounters.
Mm. Now, do you believe in aliens?
I do believe in aliens, yes.
Illegal ones?
That's a whole other story. But yes, I do believe in aliens. I was one of those nerds with the I want to believe posters on the wall.
Me too.
You know, I can't say as I've ever seen an alien or anything that even suggests an alien, but
UFO?
I've seen a few cool things in the sky, but they can probably all be explained away. But, you know, we are one planet in a very, very big universe. So I think it's only logical that there'd be other people out there, right?
And you don't need mashed potatoes to prove it.
Right.
Close Encounters reference. Right. Okay.
Anyway, back to VHS Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
The first little short in this movie is called Stalk, directed by Jordan Downey. This is basically a bunch of cops who have been not lured to a house. They're going to a house
To investigate
the disappearance of some babies.
That's really just a log line. That's all we need.
That's pretty much it.
And
so
my God, does it get gory?
It is. It is incredibly gory, and I have to tip my cap to the effects artists for this short. The practical effects are phenomenal.
Oh, there's this one particular shot that it zooms in, and I sat there going, that's just one continuous shot here. I couldn't see the cuts. I couldn't see anything because it is found footage. It's supposed to be a continuous take.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you know the shot I'm talking about.
Yeah. The cinematography was great, but to me it was also a little confusing because it was supposed to be body cam found footage type documentary style, and there were a lot of edits in there.
That's the only thing that takes you out of it.
It's a nitpick, but you know, if it kind of irks me. If you're going to shoot a movie in that style, then shoot a movie in that style. If you're going to have real cinema edits, it takes you out of the moment.
Unless you tell people at the beginning, like Blair Witch Project, that this has been found and edited and assembled. Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah.
To me, it's fine.
Wasn't really possible in this case, but that's okay. Aside from that, it was enjoyable just for the practical effects alone. Are we going to spoil?
No.
No, we're not going to spoil these. Okay.
Not this one.
Just say the police, they come across otherworldly things inside that house, and they have to fight for their lives, and
it's a party.
There's a lot of blood, and
cool.
It's messed up.
Okay, and the next one?
The next one is Dream Girl, directed by Virat Pal. This is a Bollywood sort of style short. It's about a Bollywood movie being made with this beautiful young starlet, and there's a regular camera crew and then sort of another covert camera crew,
Like a paparazzi.
who are trying to get information from the popular starlet, as paparazzi want to do, and they hide out in her trailer and find out that she's not quite
what she seems.
And
chaos ensues.
Yes, chaos ensues.
That's all we need to say.
Yeah, that's all we need to say about that one. Then we have Live and Let Die, directed by Justin Martinez.
Sorry to blow my load.
This is about a chap named Zach who's celebrating his 30th birthday with his wife Jess and best friend Logan.
And friends.
Via skydiving. And while they're up in the air, they see a UFO of some kind, and that UFO
causes them to have to exit the plane very quickly.
Yes, and
the aftermath.
Yeah, there is a massive aftermath, and they all have to survive. And this one is absolutely brilliant. This was so clever.
Yeah, I loved it. There's this one shot where you're from his point of view, and you look over in the sky, and you see something happening as it's the parallel action as it's falling, and you know the shot.
Yeah,
and I just went, how the hell did they do this?
And this was a nail biter from start to finish, and it's such a simplistic idea, perfectly executed. So well done to Justin. And then we have Fur Babies.
Oh, Jesus.
Directed by Justin Long. Yes, Justin
and
Long.
His brother.
And his brother, Christian. This
Man, do you think
wild.
Tusk influenced this at all?
I think so.
I think
quite
so.
Possibly.
Kevin Smith, you got a louder answer for what?
This is about a lady named Becky who runs a supposed dog daycare centre called Doggy Dream House and keeps taxidermies of her past dogs. And there's an animal rights activist group who watches her videos online and seems to think that there's something not right about Becky and about how she treats her animals. So they go to investigate. And let's just say they're right. They are right.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong with
right.
Becky.
Oh, it's a wild ride. If you like Tusk, you'll love this.
I would love to see more from Justin and Christian Long if this is the start of what is in their minds, because this was messed up.
In the good kind.
In a good way. Sort of notes of human centipede in there.
Body horror.
Yeah, a lot of body horror.
Tusk.
Yeah.
Think Tusk.
Very cool. And then our final movie was Stowaway. This was directed by Kate Siegel and written by Mike Flanagan.
Yay.
Husband and wife duo in Flanagan We Trust.
Yes, because I'm trying to get that to trend.
Yes. So we were obviously looking forward to this one. We are huge Flanagan fans.
Mm-hmm. And Kate Siegel fans too.
Yeah, and Kate Siegel fans. And
one of the best actresses out there.
With very pleasing directorial debut. This was innovative. It's about a girl named Hayley who...
Alana Pierce.
Yeah, who's investigating the alien encounters in the Mojave Desert, and she comes across something and she goes inside to investigate it.
And it's called Stowaway.
It's called Stowaway, which kind of gives away what happens to her. But
the visuals are amazing in this.
Beautifully shot. Very well thought out. And I hope Kate Siegel continues to move forward with that was a great start. So congratulations to Kate.
She's got the best backup
that she does
ever.
Yeah.
And these two, if Mike writes and Kate directs, like a feature, we're first in the cinema.
Yeah, what a great duo. So that was all of the shorts
and the wraparound story about the dude who'd found the tapes and he had alien encounters and it's an old place in Canada. And
so what was your favourite of the the four.
I have to say, Live and Let Dive.
I have to agree. Live and Let Dive was just such a wild ride. I
It
have
was
to,
believable.
yeah, I have to say, I didn't hate any of them.
She's not the biggest found footage fan,
No.
or the VHS
yeah,
series as well.
I'd be the first to admit found footage is really not my favourite style. But all of these had something to like about it. There are a couple, probably the first one and Dream Girl were probably the weaker links of the two, but you know,
But weak links in a good film is still
Yeah.
a good film. Like, they're still good.
exactly.
So-
And you know, when you're up against, you know, Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan, to, you know, that.
Don't put them too much of a pedestal there, dear.
But you know, when you're working
They
with
deserve it.
with the A class, and you're
Yeah.
still able to bring something that's interesting. I said congratulations
Yeah.
to you all.
Yeah.
So for this movie, though, what are we going to give it overall out of 10?
I would say 7.5.
I'd agree, 7.5. Yeah, it's not perfect, but you know, we're playing some really, really great things against some
Okay, things.
okay things. But yeah, overall,
It's worthy.
Great
it's
fun.
Worthy of your time.
yeah, great fun.
Watch it on Shudder. Now streaming.
So our next video to review will be Lake Mungo.
Another found footage film.
Yeah.
Streaming on Shudder.
This is one that Warren's been trying to get me to watch for ages, and I've been resistant to it because I'm not a huge fan of found footage movies.
I have been a champion of this one since the day I saw it. I watched it about 2:00 in the morning, very, very, very tired and just in pitch blackness. And the film worked on me like I think it had about the same effect as Blair Witch did the first time I ever saw it. It's such a sad story.
Yeah, the movie is about the disappearance of a girl, a teenage girl in a family of four, and it's sort of a documentary about her disappearance with the mother, father, and brother, and local townspeople trying to figure out what happened to her. You know, and there's a question of, you know, her ghost perhaps haunting the place, and we find out a few things that suggest otherwise. Then we find out some things that suggest maybe she is a ghost.
And it's the flip flop.
Yeah.
I love the flip flop because it's like, well, there's a ghost. Oh, hold on. No, it's not a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Is that a ghost?
Yeah.
Is that, and it just plays on you, and it's a haunting. No pun intended at all. But it's a very haunting story because it's done in a documentary style.
I have to be a little bit careful, I think, when I critique this movie, because
She doesn't want to deflate me.
I can appreciate the work that's gone into it. It's a well crafted movie, and for people who are who really like found footage and B like ghost stories, then this movie's for you. I am not, as I've already said, I'm not a huge fan of found footage to start off with, and I'm not a huge fan of ghost stories. So what would you give this movie out of 10?
Lake Mungo, I loved Lake Mungo, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Not my kind of movie, but I can appreciate it for, I mean, it wasn't made for me, but for the people who it is made for, it's a good movie. There are a few pacing issues, though. That's why it's losing a few points.
It did have...
It was a little bit on the slow side.
Yeah, watching it for the fourth time, it did drag a little bit.
Yeah.
And
some of the acting was a little bit...
You can spot it.
Yeah.
The more you watch it, you can spot it. And but yeah, there's... I love the film. I mean, I loved it so much. I wanted you to watch an Australian film that you hadn't seen.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, next one on the list is the new Salem's Lot. We've been waiting a while for this one to come out because it was made in 2022.
21, actually.
21, was it?
Yeah, and
Wow.
it reshoots in 22.
Okay. So it's been a long time coming. Oh, boy.
Sorry, Stephen. You know you're my boy.
We wanted so badly to love this movie. It stars Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son, who looks
Distractingly so.
distractingly like his father, except for the hair. And he's great.
He's actually a really good Ben.
Yeah.
Like, because my first book of Stephen King I ever read, shout out to my sister-in-law who gave me the book, was Salem's Lot. And I read it way too young and it affected me way too much. And I saw the 79 miniseries way too young and that affected me way too much for too long. And it was always nightmarish to me. And the book and the movie, the miniseries were very much linked. And just because I've read it probably almost as much as I've read it and The Stand.
Yeah.
I know it intimately.
Yes.
And just it starts off. The story is Ben Mears, a writer, comes back to his hometown, well, a town he lived in for 5 years when he was a young boy, called Jerusalem's Lot. Now, he comes to the town coincidentally the same time as an antique shop opens up by proprietors of Barlow and Straker. Now, he had a very bad experience in a house called the Marston House that sits on top of the hill of Jerusalem's Lot when he was a child.
Which has now been bought by Mr. Barlow.
Comes back after 26 years, and he strikes up a relationship with a girl called Susan. And he integrates himself in the town, and as he integrates himself in the town, there's deaths start to occur. And, it should be a murder mystery at this point. They should have gone that way because it's like, is he killing people or is it just coincidental that he's there? And they did touch upon that in one scene where they're looking for one of the little boys that go missing.
Yeah.
And that would have been, there is a 3-hour cut of this film.
That's the thing. So I wanted to like this movie, and there are elements of a great movie in here.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is Salem's Lot is a big story.
It's a dense story.
And you need the time to tell it properly. And they, I don't know if it was studio interference.
It was.
It's
come out in the last, because it was released on last Thursday and Wednesday, Thursday, American, Australian time.
Yeah.
And already there is a hashtag released the Doberman cut. Yeah. Because Gary Doberman, he is the writer of It Chapter 1 and 2, all the Conjuring movies. Yeah. This is produced by James Wan.
Yeah. So, there's
pedigree.
Excellent pedigree.
And the cinematographer, Michael Burgess, did It Chapter 1 and 2.
So there you go.
And
you can tell.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is a beautiful movie.
It's beautiful.
It is well acted.
The score was good too.
The score was great. Everything about it was great, except it is blatantly obvious that this movie has been cut to shreds.
But there's one performance, and I think it is the studio interference that have cut this one character's performance. And it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, guys, but I'm not going to say who it is. Yeah. Because I don't want to poo-poo on the actor.
Yeah, it's a certain actor that kind of takes it way over the top. And I'm assuming because so much of the movie has been cut out, we don't understand why she's so over the top. But there's probably
this is a different character I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but
Alfre Woodard is who you're talking about. Yeah.
It's the same principle.
Dr. Cody.
There's clearly choices that some of the actors have made that probably make a lot of sense in a longer cut where you get to understand the backstories of these people and why they came to be the way they are. But it's so much has been cut that they are all now two-dimensional characters, and the movie suffers so badly.
Spencer Treat Clark, who's great in Unbreakable, great in Glass. Yeah. This kid has no luck in the last few years.
He's not a kid anymore. He's 37.
Oh, what? Is he really?
He is. He's 37.
Jesus, that makes me feel old. Well, he's Mike Ryerson, and in the book, Mike Ryerson's played by Jeffrey Lewis, who's Juliette Lewis's dad. Yeah. And that's a memorable character. Yeah. But in this, it's like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah. Blink and you miss it.
It's terrible. Yeah. It breaks my heart to say that this is the most compromised version. The Rob Lowe 2004 miniseries was better than this. Yeah. And James Cromwell plays Father Callahan in it, and God, Flanagan's doing The Dark Tower, right? Get James Cromwell. I mean, he might be too old now, but they needed Father Callahan to be a James Cromwell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the character, he's even blink and you miss.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
three
scenes.
And you can tell there is deep pain within some of these characters, and there's nuance in there that needs to be explored, and we don't get to see any of it.
No. The thing I loved the most is the racial change of Mark Petrie.
Yeah.
Because in this new version, Mark is black. And the thing that really irked me, and it might be the studio interference, is it's set in 1975. I didn't even realize it was a period piece until I twigged on, hold on, the drive-in's got the signs for Dog Day Afternoon and all that. Is this a retro drive-in? But Mark is now black in the story. And in 75, in a small rural town in Maine, you would not have very good relations with a black character.
Yeah.
He would have actually been bullied. He is bullied in the film.
Yeah.
But he would have been bullied.
They glossed over the reason why he's bullied.
It's not because he's a new kid. It's because he's black. And they really, it's like they PC'd it.
Yeah.
You know,
and I get, equality. We want to see diversity in roles. And it's fantastic that he's in this role.
But it would have been a topic point.
Exactly. Let's not pretend that racism doesn't exist. It existed back then. It exists now.
It would have been
if you're going to
much more texture.
Hire a black actor for what used to be a white role, then use that actor.
That's material that should be mined.
Be mindful of the potential suffering of that person would have experienced back then.
Because Mark is a kid that's a loner in the original book, and he dives into horror movies to get to find his identity.
Yeah.
Right. In this one, he's a new kid that to the town who is
also a nerd,
a loner, and who dives into horror films. Yeah. So the fact that he's a new kid, I can't remember. I don't think Mark was a new kid in the original book. He wasn't. He was just a kid, a nerdy kid. But in this, he is the new kid.
Yeah.
And he's black.
Yeah.
And he's a nerd.
I think if they'd explored that racism angle, it would have made his character all the more interesting because he's a great little actor.
He's actually the best character in the film, I think.
He was great to watch.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that everything that people do in this movie is confusing because of how cut to shreds it is.
And, Alfre Woodard is almost embarrassingly bad in this.
Yeah. And, of course, Barlow, our head vampire, is completely CG.
And it looks like Bonnie, is it Bonnie Aronson who plays Valak?
Yes.
Yeah. The Barlow looks like Bonnie and Marilyn Manson combined.
Yeah.
If you combine the two, that would be what the Barlow looks like.
And it's so strange because the form that they've chosen for Barlow is not difficult to create as a practical effect.
Have you seen the 79 original? Because that makeup frightened the Jesus out of me when I was a kid.
Look at, Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992, what they created for the Bat character.
I can't even look at that.
And that was so much more complex, and that was 100% practical. And come on, guys.
Do you want to know something that I found out yesterday?
What?
There was a practical effect,
a
makeup effect. They CG'd over it.
Stop doing that.
It's the thing all over again.
Please stop doing that. We can tell.
Naughty. David Zaslav, keep your hands off
The first thing we did actually when we watched VHS Beyond and we got the first story with all of the practical effects and gore that went in there, the first thing I said was, that is what they should have done in Salem's Lot.
Yep.
Because this movie is R-rated, by the way, and there is no gore.
It's R-rated for language.
Yeah.
That's
gore
why
whatsoever.
This may as well have been PG-13.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's how little gore there is.
There's
gore
one...
is, literally either off-screen...
or impactful. There's one thing that probably would have made it R-rated now, apart from the language, is that there's someone gets shot and it's so like it is like, oh, Jesus, and it actually makes you jump. And I think that's probably now why it would be R-rated.
But even that was...
They pulled its punch.
Yeah, it did. The edit was so quick, you could barely see what happened.
The sound effect made me jump.
Yeah.
Not the thing. But I got to say, they changed the ending of the book to a different location. Spoiler, sorry, I don't like it not being in the Marston house. But where they said it, I was like, why hasn't anyone ever thought of this before?
It was a creative choice, and if the
If
movie
executed properly and edited correctly.
Yeah. It could have been good, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you give it out of 10?
5.
Yeah, it's a sad 5 for me as well.
Yeah.
And only just.
It's a sci-5.
Yeah, I'm the only reason it's getting a 5 is because I can see the potential that is in this movie, and I would love to see the proper cut.
# release the Doberman cut.
Yep. And our final movie for today, we just saw
Saturday night. Saturday night. We went to the movies.
Yeah, on a whim. And this movie is called
Never Let Go.
Yes, starring Halle Berry, who also starring Halle Berry, who also produced the film.
Yeah, and directed by Alexandra Ajar.
Yes, who's directed a lot of really great horror movies. So we
Piranha 3D, Crawl.
Yeah, and better ones.
Yeah, I liked Crawl.
Crawl's great, but
Piranha 3D. Wow.
We were interested just because of the director alone. We thought we'll give this movie a shot.
Okay, look, the premise is a mother and her 2 sons live in a rural house in the sticks. A cabin house in the sticks. And they're isolated from everything. And the world has moved on, so the mother says. They stay in the house, and they must at all times be connected to the house by a rope that is actually tied to the foundations of the house. And all 3 must tie the rope around themselves, say a prayer, and then when they leave the house, they must always be tied to this rope. And they say many, 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 many times in this movie, never let go.
And the mother tells them that the reason they have to be tied to the rope is because it's basically the end of the world has happened and everyone has been taken over by this evil. And if you let go, the evil will be able to get you.
And infect you, and you bring it to the house, and it'll make you kill the other people in the house.
The premise of this movie is interesting. We won't spoil it. It's difficult not to, but...
it's very interesting. Actually, it would have made a really good book.
Yeah. I can see where they were going with this, but this movie showed its hand way too early. Way too early.
We know what's happening from basically 10, 15 minutes in.
That.
Yeah. And, I mean, what we can say is there is a situation that happens 2/3 of the way in the movie, that if it happened in the first third of the movie, it would have been a better movie and a stronger movie. Yeah,
because the two
we've talked about it a lot.
The 2 boys that play the children in this movie are fantastic.
This is what Jaden Smith aspired to be.
Yeah, their back and forth, and their bond was the most fascinating part of the movie, and it should have been featured
more.
A lot more in the movie. And
it should have been them as brothers fighting and basically discussing stuff.
Yeah.
2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's 1/3 of the movie that they get to chomp at the script, really.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we spend a little bit too much time with Halle Berry.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, but she's I've never liked her as an actress. I know she's an Academy Award winner, and she's certainly not terrible.
She's serviceable.
But
I feel bad for her. What happened on X-Men: The Last Stand?
Yeah, but serviceable. Therein lies the problem with a movie like this. You need someone who can play gritty, unhinged.
Angela Bassett
would have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, Halle. I mean, I do genuinely enjoy your movies, but and she was great in John Wick 3.
Yeah.
But it's like putting Keanu Reeves in a film where he has to put on an English accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know where the bastard sleeps.
Yeah. It is that kind of cringe,
dude.
And it's unfortunate because if they just changed it up a little bit and not showed their hands so early, this would have been a really interesting movie. Having said that, I suspect that this movie will not be for everyone.
I mean, I doubt this film was a big budget,
Yeah,
but what they got out of it,
yeah,
I mean, it's one of the most visually striking films I've seen
is,
this year.
yeah.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful, and I love the score.
Yeah.
But that's featured a lot. It's beautiful, love the score, the film. But it is a film that thinks it's cleverer than the audience and
Yeah.
is basically spoon feeding us things that we've already 4 steps ahead of what the
Yeah,
film is.
exactly.
It's
very frustrating.
It does condescend
Yeah.
a little bit, and that is frustrating to
Yeah.
me because Alexander Aja's a fantastic director,
Yes, he is.
and I don't see any studio interference in this movie.
No.
I mean, this is a vision from start to finish.
Yeah.
But I do think that with a defter hand,
Yeah.
with a more gentle, not finger on the nose sort of
Yeah.
storytelling, it would have been a much better film.
Yeah. I mean, the issue is also that it is an unusual premise. It's not your standard horror fare. And if you're...
It is a horror film.
It is a horror movie, but if you're looking to go see a horror movie with your standard jump scares and things like that,
You're not going to get it.
you're not going to get it in this movie. And there's going to be probably about half the audience that walk out going,
What the fuck?
the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, it smacks a little bit of pretension.
Yeah.
It's like horror by way of Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Got to
Yeah.
mention him,
Yeah.
because it does have a little bit of the toppy nose audience, like people that to be people who think they are cleverer than they are
Yeah.
will
Will like
really
this
will
movie.
like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one you'd actually put in the Jim Jarmusch,
Yeah.
Wes Anderson section of the
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
pile.
Having said that, if
It is a straightforward
yeah,
film.
if you choose to watch this movie, we'd love to hear what you think in the comments.
Yeah,
because
please.
It is going to be one of those divisive movies that makes you think. And yeah, we actually had to sort of think about it for a while before we could even come to a conclusion as to
I'd-
whether we liked it or not.
Yeah, I had to sleep on it. It was
Yeah.
like The Substance in a way,
Yeah.
because The Substance is another divisive film that you could watch
Yeah.
it and think, is this pretentious or is this
Yeah.
just like a
Or is
balls out
that-
satire?
Yeah.
And it was a balls out satire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we slept on it and we realized, we love
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
This is in that same sort of cult horror, but this is looking down on its audience.
Yeah.
This is a horror film for people that don't like horror films.
Yeah. Sad to say, but yeah.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10?
6.
I give it a 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give it for 6 mostly for the visuals and the acting of the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Because Aja's a great director. I think
Yeah.
he's always done what Aja does.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, from the stupidness of Piranha 3D to this,
Yeah. This committed the cardinal sin, though, of making me bored for part of the movie.
that's why
and for that, it gets a 5.
Yeah, that's why I think it's divisive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if it had been tighter, 15 minutes less.
Yeah.
Because we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. Never
Yeah.
let go. We
Yeah.
get it. You know, that's the one
Yeah.
thing that irked
And
me.
also the other thing that you're telling us in the movie, we got that too. Like,
Yeah,
we got
we-
that straight up.
Yeah, you don't have to do biblical metaphors and
Yeah.
visual references.
We got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our 4 for today.
4.
Yeah. Happy Hallowtober, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And join us again next week for another collection
Mhm.
of horror movies. Don't
Hope-
know what we're doing yet.
Yeah, hopefully we watch more. I mean, we got The Hitcher on 4K today.
Yeah,
We could put that in.
could be.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we
But-
always figure it out.
Until then, we shall say goodnight.
Stay hydrated, everyone.
Was that high straight? How about
Stay. I'm going to cut. Cut. Stay hydrated, everyone.
And remember, leggings are not pants.